अगर आपने अभी तक हमारा चैनल सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो अभी सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकॉन को क्लिक करके हमारी लेटेस्ट वीडियोस के बारे में अपडेट जानें। सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और हम आपको लिए चलेंगे आपकी फेवरेट वीडियो की।
Hey folks, welcome back to Fantastic Daily, where I make the creepy and the unexplained entertaining for all of you. Tonight we look at a new breakthrough technology that may actually explain why SETI hasn't been able to find any traces of alien civilizations, and spoiler alert, maybe intelligent life has been talking to us this whole time. Now, for decades, we have been listening for any sign of advanced alien life. We point our radio telescopes towards the sky and wait for any unknown or strange signals with a hope that one of them will be something without a natural explanation. And in 2007, Duncan Lorimer found a very strange signal that seemed to be repeating. And these signals are so powerful that they seem to spike against the natural noise floor, and they are transmitted incredibly fast. They're called fast radio bursts. Each of these bursts only lasts a few milliseconds, but the repeating nature has many people scratching their heads. What could these fast radio bursts be? Some have suggested rotating neutron stars, others think that they are related to gamma ray bursts, but some scientists have suggested that these signals could be artificial. They could be coming from an advanced alien civilization. And when I say advanced, I really mean it, because tracing these signals all the way to their source has revealed that they are extragalactic in origin, meaning they come from outside of our Milky Way galaxy, very far away, billions of light years. And for a radio signal to travel across the galaxy and still arrive at Earth with enough strength to be heard, it's gotta be a powerful signal, much more powerful than human beings are currently capable of transmitting. And here's the kicker, they don't emanate from a single source, they come from all over the sky. So it begs the question, is this a new type of signal being sent to Earth? Or have these signals been here the entire time? Perhaps we didn't know to look for them. And to figure that out, a team at Berkeley built an artificial intelligent neural network to sift through old radio telescope data, and sure enough, it identified numerous FRBs that we never discovered. These signals might actually be really common. But what could they be? Naturally occurring phenomenon, or some kind of transmission from an advanced alien race? And with the help of AI, we might be able to identify more of these signals and perhaps identify commonalities in the signal and prove that they are artificial. We have been wondering for a long time why we seem to be alone in this universe. We keep listening for others, and we don't find anything. But maybe that's because we were missing it. We didn't know what to look for. Maybe they've been out there all along, talking back and forth across space, and now maybe we can finally join in. But now that we got that out of the way, let's shift gears here, folks, and turn to a viewer call that is not only creepy, but there is brand new info that changes the nature of the myth behind the hauntings that this caller talks about.
Hi, SD. You seem to have an interest in, the whole black-eyed children thing. And I wanted to tell you about a local legend that we have around where I live. I live in Washington. And around Point Defiance, there is a place called the 5 Mile Drive. It's a stretch of road that is rumored to be super haunted, specifically by the spirit of a young girl around 13 years old who was murdered there while riding her bike home. And if I remember correctly, a lot of witness encounters with her say that she didn't have any eyes, and I feel like that could relate back to, if you have black eyes, obviously someone's going to think, oh, you have no eyes. But also, all the encounters with her have said to have been, benevolent and friendly and stuff. So I'm not sure if that relates back to the black-eyed kids, but I wanted to know maybe what you thought of that. And if you think that has any relation to the black-eyed kids, or if it's just a spirit who unfortunately had, her eyes missing at the time of death. Her name's Jennifer, the spirit is, in case you wanted to do a little research on that. Thanks. Bye.
This was a great story, and it immediately sat me down on my computer, and I started Googling all kinds of things to learn more about this 5 Mile Drive haunting. I think it's really, really interesting, and I found some great stuff about it. But before I go any deeper, let's address this whole, could it be a black-eyed kid thing? Because, I've said in the past that black-eyed kids and encounters with black-eyed kids, they're very one-dimensional. They rarely step out of this very standard pattern that occurs at a home, that a black-eyed kid will come to your door, will knock, and will try to gain access in some way. There's a variant of this story where somebody will encounter a black-eyed kid on the road, and that's possibly what this could be referring to. But looking into this case, it doesn't seem to have any of the hallmarks of a black-eyed kid. A black-eyed kid is almost always said to be trying to gain access to you or to your home, potentially your vehicle, and that doesn't seem to be going on here. If anything, this seems like it could be just a very traditional haunting, perhaps a repeating spirit that is a non-intelligent spirit, and it just is going through the motions of something, whether it's the area that they died, or some kind of trauma that existed, that they are not something that you could interact with. They're just kind of like on a loop. It's like watching a movie looping over and over and over again. And when I looked into this story of the little girl Jennifer who went missing, she went missing back in 1986, and it was a very traumatic experience for the area around this 5 Mile Drive. Her body was found weeks after going missing, and her killer was never found. And those are exactly the kind of stories you expect to hear when you hear about hauntings, that someone died traumatically and they are now kind of they are coming back into the space that they went missing in, where this traumatic event happened, and they are existing again. Now, what's complicated here is that the killer of the girl was finally caught. Just back in May of 2018, this guy was caught, which the police have been kind of like quiet about how they did it, but it seems to be a DNA case because they caught him out of state. There didn't seem to be a lot of evidence, probably just enough DNA to have linked him to this case. And, that doesn't necessarily close the book on the haunting, but it does give some like real world context to, this case where a little girl went missing and now she's haunting this area. That these are not urban myths. This was a real girl that really went missing, and now we finally, caught her killer, and I think, that's a good thing. And does that mean that her spirit is now going to, stop haunting that area? Does that give her spirit some kind of, release? I think, only time will tell, but these type of areas, these type of stretches of road, these type of haunted locations, it's always hard to say what caused the haunting to exist. But I ultimately, I would say this is not a black-eyed kid story. It is a haunting that may or may not be caused by this traumatic event. That's all for me today, folks. But remember, if you liked this video, make sure to slam that like button. And if you're new here, make sure